So today we're going to take a look at the AAP-01. Going to have a look at stripping it down, looking at the internals, and going through the various bits inside, and also looking at some potential upgrades. So I've laid out the tools that I need for today. I've got a small crosshead screwdriver, 1.5mm hex and a 2mm hex. I've also got a mallet so that we can knock out pins if we need to. So to start with, to get into the pistol, you'll see on the rear of the gun there's this push button here. Now what you do is you push it in, you hold the barrel at the front, push it down and lift it up. So it should crack the gun like that. And then you just wiggle that off and it comes and it splits into two pieces like that. Right, let's put this piece to one side for a moment. Put that there, we'll get that out of the way as well. So when you open the gun up like this, you can see inside you've got your hop up, your nozzle and your fire selector inside here, which you can manually flick backwards and forwards, setting it into full auto or single fire. You actually can do it on the fly by pulling slide back like that. And you can go in there and knock that over one and knock that over back like that. All right. So need your 2mm Allen key. First thing to do, take out these two screws. Quite straightforward. Loosen them off, like so. Take them out. Now, I always put a tray down so that I've got somewhere to put my screws, because as you can see, I work on a black mat and they go running around. So, what you do is just give that a little wiggle. That should slide forward. Might bring the nozzle with it. If it does, just slide it back a bit. And then you just have to kind of gently twist it that way and slide it out like that. So again, we can put that piece to one side for the moment. So now you have just the front end of the barrel and the hop-up unit, and obviously inside there is the 6mm barrel. So now we need the 1.5, and that's for these two screws here. One on one side, again putting them in the tray, flip it over, and there's one on the other side. Now take that out like that. Now again, this should just be a quick pull out like that. End up with these two pieces. Obviously we're going to have a look at this piece, and again, so that's one side. So looking at the hop-up unit, you can see obviously it's held together by 4 screws here. Now you'll note that this one here is behind the hop-up wheel adjuster. But what you can see on the hop-up wheel adjuster, if you rotate it, probably best do it on here. A bit tricky. It's a brand new pistol, so it's not been opened yet. You can align that cutout with the screw so that you can get the head of the screw out when you unscrew it. So we'll go ahead and take this apart. Right, now that you've got those 4 screws out and placed them in your tray, just need to be careful when you take it apart. The 2 screws on the top that you took out, inside the hop-up unit, there are 2 nuts in there that are loose. They are what hold this to the barrel or to the rest of the gun. So just when you take it apart, just be mindful that they might jump out and run away. So you can see them there at the front, look, and they just come out like that. Now I tend to leave them in there if I can. Just pop that there for a moment, let that go. And then if I turn this over, obviously that came out with it. So if we take a look inside the hop-up unit, so these are the two halves of the hop-up unit side by side. So they fold together like that. And the barrel sits in there in the middle. Now what you'll see is inside the hop-up unit you have an adjustment arm. Now that adjustment arm, when you look on, if I take that away, it goes through into here, into the back of this piece, and it slides up and down on that adjustment. So that's how the hop up actually adjusts in this pistol. It just moves that up and down, which then pushes on to the hop up rubber on the top here and just pushes down like that. Which, if I take that off, you'll see is where the hop up has free space to contact the BB as it slides through. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that on the camera, but in there you'll see that there's a nub on the hop up rubber, which is what puts pressure on the BB and gives it the spin. So, on to upgrades. I think the first upgrade I'd recommend, and probably what I'd start with, is changing the hop up rubber. They're cheap. You can pick them up for about a tenner from most retailers. I can add a couple of links in the description below just to help out. But that's where I'd start. I wouldn't do much else with it to start with. Have a go, see how you get on with it, and go from there. Moving forward, you could change the barrel, which might help with a bit of precision and accuracy. And yeah, there's countless upgrades for these pistols, so they're well worth looking out for. But that's where I would start with this one.